Hey everyone, Joe here. So pretty much I've been working on a exoplanet survival game for the past probably about 2 weeks now. I've worked on it for years, but my computer broke and I've just got a new one. But I've started working on it again and I had to restart. But I've been looking for good ways to make trees for my game. Now it is kind of alien, but it will be having Earth features into it. But this tutorial isn't just for games, it can be used for models, anything, for Blender, for games, movie product, anything, I don't know. But today I'm just going to be going through the tool I use to make trees, and be going through one, and then I'll import it to Unity and add some LOD groups and all that kind of stuff for you guys, and also optimize the trees in Blender. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is go to if you just search up tree it on Google, it should come up with this. If you just go to the first link, I found it originally on CG Tricks, but if you just go to the first link, it will take you to this. You just go down, and I just go tree it installer. Here's a preview of some of the trees you can make. Very, very nice. But I would probably just go tree it installer, and then open that. So when you download tree it and open it, you should be greeted to something that looks a little bit like this. A little bit scary, but I'll go through what everything does and how to do everything. So the type of tree I might be doing is something a little bit like a spruce or Douglas fir. So pretty much what we're going to do is we have all these up here, these panels. Honestly, you don't really need to know much of these. The only things that if you're on a slower computer, you might want to fix the FPS, you might want to change it to no wind animation or turn off the lighting, or just something like that, and then obviously you could just do all that later. None of these export pretty much none of these apart from these bottom ones. None of these, the grid, the lighting, the wind animation, all that doesn't actually export, which I'm kind of annoyed about the wind animation not exporting, because that's actually a really nice wind animation here. But so next on the right, we have all these panels. So we have the tree panel, the trunk panel, the branch panel, the leaf panel, and the mesh panel. They all have all these different sliders here just to change all the different parts of the trees. Now you could go ahead and have a little bit of play here. You could go like, oh, let's go to trunk. Let's split the trunk. Oh, that looks a bit weird. Or you could maybe go, let's turn up the length, which I'll actually be doing for this. So maybe not 160. But let's turn it to something like 140 maybe. Change the length increment, or just keep it the same, I don't know. Maybe change the radius if you need your tree to be a little bit thicker, which I kind of do. So let's do about that. The radius sign, just add some weird stuff to the bottom. I don't really like the look of it. But obviously, maybe if you're doing a cactus or something like that, it might work. The next thing that you want to do is you have this trunk texture. So if we want to click a load texture, and then on the base, we just click load, it actually has some already installed, and it will just take you to this folder. If you double click on bark, it'll take you up to these. Now these are pretty much all your bark textures that you can use. I'm going to be using something a little bit like this, and then we can go to the normal map. Normal map is pretty much just extra lighting details onto it. Not leaves, let's go to bark. Let's find the one, that was the one I used. Now let's go into here. Pretty much the normal map tells lighting data which way to point light when it's reflected off it, and well, it's not really reflections, but it's how light interacts with an object. So we go okay, as you can see, we have this really nice texture on it now. Alright, so the next thing we probably want to do is add some branches. So if we go to the branch menu, we're going to increase this count. As you can see, it's going to start adding some. Next, we're going to split them a little bit, so add some more variations onto the splits. They go down to branchlets and increase the count, so we get a few more of those finer detail branches, and I might just increase that a few more. There we go, I think that is about good. Alright, next we can actually increase the distribution. That's right, I didn't realize that didn't do anything, I forgot. Next, if you're gonna go into, especially like game design, you're probably going to want to turn down these sides, because this will help a lot with our performance, especially. So I usually like keeping this about a 6 or a 3, because you don't usually get up and close with these branches here. So as you can see, if I put it down to 3, it just becomes triangles. put it all the way up to 30, it becomes very high detailed circles. But I honestly just put it down to something like 6 because you like never see them, and the difference it makes is very minimal. Alright, same with these branchlets. I'm probably going to turn these all the way down to 3 for the branchlets. These are these little things here, because you're almost never going to see them, and it doesn't really matter. Alright, next on the branch scale, we're going to actually turn down the length increment to make it a little bit more of a curved length. Now we'll increase the length a little bit, and I think that's probably good for me. Now you can change all of these, like the radius sign, all that kind of stuff makes it more curved. Radius flare, you can increase the radius at the root of the branch. I might increase that a little bit, and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is the branch forces. These are the things: branch forces and branch alignment and position. These are the main ones after actually making the branches. So I'm probably gonna want to increase my gravity to negative, so it points up a little bit. Obviously, if you go down, it's more of like a willow tree. This actually looks really cool. Looks kind of alien, that kind of stuff, so I might want to use those sometime. But I might do this negative 24. That looks about good. And this is maybe looking like a cricket aspen or something. Obviously, the bark's a little bit darker. But next, let's go to the... obviously, you can do seek sun. That means it's going to seek towards the sun over here, something that trees actually do if they're underneath other trees. Then we can go gravity curvature. This just increases how much the gravity curvature affects it. Alright, next is branch position. So this is on the trunk, whereabouts it's located. So if you're doing something like a pine tree, you might want to go somewhere like there, have less gravity, and then that would be about perfect. But considering I'm going to do like a top tree sort of, I'm going to keep this quite high. And then you could also increase the position back, so it's kind of like, oh, yeah, you can do stuff like this. It looks very weird. Well, it's not like that, whereas the tops are good, but I'm just going to keep that as 100. Next is a branch alignment. So you might notice that if you change these, it goes up and down. Now, I'm going to be doing down. And if you're doing down, I would recommend you pull up your position a lot more. I also would not suggest you do it that much down. And I might have to go back up and just undo some of the gravity. And this is starting to look very nice. I do like this a lot. Let's just turn the step frequency up a little bit to distribute the branches a little bit better. And we alignment up, we can... Boop. Next is the branch up curvature. I don't really like playing with this too much. It kind of makes it all screwed. But if that's what you're going for, if you want a little bit of randomness, I think it is. Just add a little bit of that. Don't actually. It looks disgusting. Alright, so this next part is adding all the leaves. This is important. We need to do this, and it will come out really nice. Okay, so let's turn up the count of leaves. And instantly, this looks a bit screwed. It looks a bit scuffed, especially because of the type of tree we're making. If the alignment wasn't up, or down, sorry, it would obviously look alright. First of all, I'm going to add a texture. I will be using my own texture. As long as you have a transparent texture, it should work. Just go Disrupted Earth. Let's go to Textures, my branches, and I've got a spruce branch right here. I don't know how good... Yeah, it looks kind of disgusting in this. It looks much better in the program, like Unity and that kind of stuff, or Blender. But it's better off the program. Okay, so let's go down and let's have a look at these. So the main thing, we don't really need to worry about any of those. They don't really affect the leaves too much. We could decrease the distribution. That really does make a difference. I'm going to keep everything up there the same. But now we have this length. We have length, so if you want your branch to be a bit bigger, you can increase that. Length increment, make them bigger or smaller. You can increase the width. Even the gravity of them, obviously like, that goes down. That actually looks kind of nice. Seek sun still, so they go towards the sun more. All that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. Also, you can change the position of the leaves. So I might go maybe a little bit down a little bit. But then again, the most important one is the leaf alignment. So we're going to go surface for my one. And as you can see, it sticks to the surface a little bit more. And we can change the alignment up and down. And yeah, there we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. If I go back to the trunk and change it a little bit more. Here's a tree you've just made in Triad. And so it's messaging me Steam. Okay, so now it comes to exporting this. Obviously, you can save it if you want. I am not going to save. So, for me, I'm going to be saving it as a .obj, as good. The FBX doesn't work in Blender, so just be careful. Do not export this as a .fbx, because this is a binary FBX, I believe. And you'll have to just convert it with an online converter. This is just way more simple. I'm going to save it in a folder just somewhere. .obj format. As you can see, I've already got some stuff here. I'm actually going to delete these because I need to make new ones. We're going to call this, I guess, Spruce 1. And then we're going to save it, and it's exporting, and it's saved. So once you do that, you can hop out of Triet, and now we're going to bring it into Blender to do some final adjustments and make it ready for game use. So obviously, if you're using something like Unity, like, you know, if you're using any game engine, you need to worry about how many polys or how many vertices or anything like that the model has, because it's going to be harder for your engine to run more of these, especially if you're doing a whole forest and that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to import into Blender. So if you don't know how to do this, you just go top left to File, Import, and now we've got .obj. If you have another file format, you can do that. Next, I'm just gonna go to my dev folder, nature trees, obj, and let's pull in the spruce one. Cool, so here it is. It's very big, as you might tell. Much too big for what it's supposed to be. Let's decrease this. So as you can see, if you click N, it opens up this little menu here. You got X is 203 meters, Y is 581, and then Z is 200. So this is a big tree. Let's decrease these. Let's decrease this all the way down until it's about realistic. So probably, I honestly forgot which one's which. Y is probably the tallest one, I'm guessing. Probably about 26 meters, sounds about right for a big tree. Alright, let's, then we're going to Control A and apply all transforms so they all reset, because we're going to need that for Unity. Okay, so right now, this is looking very good, but it's also quite laggy. Well, not quite laggy, but it's not efficient enough. So let's work on fixing that. Alright, so let's go to this wrench modifier over here, this wrench tab, and let's go add modifier. And now we're gonna decimate. Decimation is pretty much removing faces that don't matter, or that, well, it's not that don't matter, but it's decreasing the size of the model and saving space, and it's just making it better. Decimation's like removing vertex to make the model more optimized. So you can do collapse, unsubdivide, and all that kind of stuff. Personally, I prefer planar. Planar is the one that probably removes the most for the least amount of effort. So as you can see, in unsubdivide, we can just see our face count is sitting at a big 9,262. We probably need to get that baby all the way down to 2,000 for it to be good enough. So let's go to planar and see what happens. So if we want to keep the basic shape down here, we need to increase this. And as you can see, it's it's creating some weird artifacts, but it is actually not making that much of a difference. Like if you look at it from far away, that has not made much of a difference at all. Obviously, it looks like it, but it won't have. But it's done so much. Okay, so let's maybe put that at a 15, and we'll see. That actually looks about good. We could probably tweak this a little bit more before we start noticing more on the trunk. Any change, though, that looks good is good. Okay, there we go. I think about there. About there's perfect. Be able to render a bunch of these. Okay, so let's quickly Control A over this. We'll just apply it, and then we can see, as you can see, that looks a lot better. That's absolutely no vertices there compared to before, which was a lot. Okay, so now if you were just to chuck this in Unity, it would look crap. It would not work. Lighting would be all weird. The main important thing is that there's a lot of weird looking things inside there, like that little thing there. So how do we fix that? That's actually two planes into one another, I believe. Yeah, you see, there's the plane there. It's right there. How do we fix this? It's a big problem because it has way more vertices than we need it, because it's doubling them up when we actually don't need that. We could just double up the faces of the textures. So let's go to edit mode by just clicking tab, and we can select all with A. Then go to vertex here. Let's go to mesh, clean up, and we could go merge by distance. So as you can see, that made a difference. And we're gonna increase this by a little bit. Probably about 0.03 works about fine, and then we're good. Okay, so let's just see how many vertices we have now. 1,368. 1,368, and it's barely a difference, and it looks so much better. You can do so many of these, and it would not lag. You can make a little forest, all that kind of stuff. As you can see, that's looking kind of nice. Let's just delete these though, because we still need to work on this. And bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. You got it. It's here. Okay. So let's save this. Let's just delete these quickly. And let's save this as Spruce 1. Cool. So now we can actually start working on doing some LODs for this. What are LODs? LOD stands for level of detail, and it's pretty much a series of models that it blends between from a distance in order to save on memory, and so because it doesn't have to render as much. So how do we do something like this? So pretty much how we do this is we make 3 different models. Although we could just make them on the same model, but just like decimate it, so then it has less. So let's add a modifier. First of all, let's actually export this as a .fbx. Go to the .fbx format. Oh baby, there's a lot in here. Let's delete those. Sheesh. Add a new folder called Spruce 1. Now, the reason why I'm putting them in folders is because I'm going to be having a lot of them. We're going to make this LOD 0. So this is what you're going to see when you're right up close. Then we're going to add a modifier of decimation. And remember, we already set the angle limit to 20. So we need to put it to 20 straight away. Now, if we want to go harsh, we're gonna put it straight away to 25. This is going up. This is going pretty harsh. It's 1,243 right now. Let's save. Let's apply that. You know, actually, we could get that better. Let's put it to 30. Yeah, 1,200. Let's go export .fbx, and this is gonna be LOD 1. Oh crap! I did forget to do something. I knew it. Okay. We need to shift in to recalculate normals. Big step that we missed. Let's export that again. Cool. Now we can add decimation. And let's set it to 30. 35 maybe? Does that do much extra? It will go 30. 35 bit too much of a difference. Let's go export again. FBX, LOD1. I will do one more. This may planar. We'll go 40 this time. And we can save that again. File, export, .fbx, LOD2. Cool. So how do we bring this into Unity now, considering we just made it? I just don't save because I've already saved a full blend format. So here I have my game, and pretty much we just need to drag them into this tree model area because that's what I've done. Let's go disrupted earth, nature, trees, .fbx format, spruce 1, and as you can see we've got them all here. Let's just drag those in. It's going to import into Unity, and as you can see, they're all in this folder. Now, I've already actually set up some materials for these as pine bark and spruce branch, as they're pretty similar, pine and spruce. I've set up all these, and I've actually got a leaf shader that I can use, but for the sake of this, I will just be using the default Unity materials, just so it's simpler. Nature, let's go back to our trees, models, and you might think, let's just drag it straight in. But no, this is actually not correct. So what you do is you create an empty, and let's call it spruce 1. And let's just reset the transform on that. And let's focus on it. Next, we're going to go into a place that you store your prefabs, and we're going to turn it into a prefab. This is just so we can, like, instantiate it as many times as we want, especially because I'm doing procedural terrain generation. We will need to. And let's just go to spruce 1 and drag in all these models. Alright, now let's reset the transform on all of them back to 0, 0. Cool. So now, on the spruce 1, let's add a LOD group. And this is what I was talking about. I usually like setting the cold at something like 1% or 0%. Just like that. And let's add some rendering. Okay, so, wow, these are all stuffed up. Let's go like that. Cool. So at LOD 0, we're going to drag in LOD 0. At LOD 1, we're going to drag in LOD 1. LOD 2, we're going to drag in LOD 2. And fade mode, I like to just do crossfade and then go animate crossfading. So now, it doesn't look like much of a difference. That's because we've set it up well. There's pretty much no difference between any of them, but a big difference in the vertex count. Obviously, like with something like this, you'll be able to see it way more up close. You can see that, but like, boop, it looks a lot more disgusting. Let's go to LOD 0 now, and let's start adding materials. So if we go to nature materials, we'll go to these. So let's drag in the pine bark. Oh, that looks nice. LOD 1, let's just drag in the pine bark. LOD 2, let's drag in the pine bark. And obviously, as you can see, the materials become a lot more screwed the different LODs you have. That's why they're further away. Okay, let's now go to LOD 0, add in the spruce branch. Let's go to LOD 1, add in the spruce branch. And LOD 2, let's go add in the spruce branch. So now this looks a bit weird. It actually looks pretty good. But as soon as I bring it into my game, as you can see, it looks a lot better. A lot better. And that's pretty much it. Let's chuck this into our terrain generator and see how it copes with it, see if it looks nice. Let's just add a 1 for mountain trees, and let's go, not tree, spruce. In the assets, let's drag in the spruce. And let's just take a peek at what my terrain generation does with this new tree. And we'll see how much of a difference it makes. Now, I usually get like 60 FPS with this, but it is definitely gonna lag because I'm recording. So let's see what happens. Loading the terrain right now, as you can see in the left. Loading the terrain chunks. There is trees being loaded as well, so that's a promising sight. And we load in the middle of a forest, and yeah, it's lagging quite a bit. Lagging a little bit less, but this definitely is doing, looks nice. It looks nice. I just need to turn down the frequency of trees because they're spawning in the snow with no snow on them. Oh god, it really is screwing up. But anyway, that's it for today's episode, learning how to do trees for your games. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.